St. Regis Limited Productions UK presents an interview with a British immigrant for Donald Trump and for the Republic.
That I just wanted to go, thoughts, wonderful. It's beautiful, man.
So if you could sum up to people who are watching or listening to your point of view on this, why is it that you believe that they should vote for Donald Trump?
Why the nation should vote for him?
Why anyone? Like, I know you support him, but give me
because he's a smart man. He's a highly intelligent, intuitive learner. The knowledge that he has, he's highly intelligent, and he's not afraid to confront tough issues. That to me is it. Politicians, our country's in ruins because you've got people who are controlled by political correctness. They're controlled by, don't offend these people, they won't give you their money. It's like a preacher in a church. I've been in Christian ministry for many years. The preacher's afraid to say the wrong thing in case the rich donors quit giving money. It's the same deal. Trump's not like that. He's free he's free, and that's what makes him powerful, because he'll make the right decisions.
But has he delineated anything specifically?
As far as what?
Well, it seems to me like a lot of it, not just him. I mean, American politics is primarily selling like cereal sometimes. It's like marketing. And if you say too much, you gain 2 points here, you lose 1 point over there. So what I'm trying to find out is what in particular. I hear you say the wall. I hear you say that he's got the background, but in particular, like on the issues for like for example, education or
get rid of Common Core. You see, people, what they say, then they say, well, be specific. No, get rid of Common Core. Give the states back the freedom to determine the educational system for the states.
And
the overreach of the federal government is part of the problem that we have today. Our nation was designed to be free, that states would run themselves, that the federal government would have a limited role and just do the job that you were designed to do originally. And with Trump, it will be strong militarily as the commander-in-chief and strong in economics as the negotiator of trade deals. If that's all he did, if that's all he does, that'll be enough.
What do you say to the people who say he's a racist, or his message?
Well, they're just listening to the news too much.
Okay.
It's not racist to want to put a front door on your house. It's not racist to not want to welcome someone into your house who's not a welcome guest.
But you yourself came from another country.
I'm an immigrant, and I was an illegal immigrant. And after 2 years of being illegal, I felt sick to my stomach even while I was an illegal. There's an attitude of immigrants, and I had it, and it's wrong. And that attitude is, I have a right to go to America. I have a right to the wealth of America. I have a right to the money that hardworking Americans are paid. Let me finish. Are paid in taxes, and they come here with that idea. I heard it all today. We have a right to be here. No, you don't. This is Ellen's house. If you're here, it's by the privilege of the house, the host, inviting you in, and if they say leave, you leave. So I did. After 2 years of being here illegally, I packed my bags, I handed myself into immigration, and I left. And after 6 months, I got my paperwork in order, and I came back to Spain legally. I got married to an American citizen legally. 20 years later, I'm a citizen legally, and I'm an alternate delegate of New York State.
I see. Can I ask you a question? So, what's your name?
Naima.
What?
Naima.
Naima? So you're here in Cleveland for the Republican National Convention. Are you from Cleveland?
From Oberlin?
From Oberlin?
Ohio, yeah.
Oberlin, Ohio. All right. And so you've been prancing about in the fountains, holding the signs. What's your message you want people to get?
I think our message is very clear, sir.
No, I know it's a good message. That's why I'm not trying to be difficult. So you volunteered your time here to come raise awareness about Black Lives Matter.
Indeed.
What do you think the #1 issue of Black Lives Matter is?
That Black lives don't matter in this country.
terms of the violence towards African Americans?
All across the board, but yes, in terms of violence as well.
Did you know that on 9/11, 2,996 people died, but that same year, 36,000 people died because of violence? And we spent $3 trillion, U.S. spent $3 trillion hunting down Osama bin Laden. How much do you think they spent on solving the problem of genocide in our country?
Not enough.
Not enough. Never enough. It's not about money. Thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad I let you finish because now it makes sense. But you can see my question would be, as naturally, if we build that wall, you can't get in.
No, you can. You go through the
You
door.
want to go through the legal.
Go through the door.
Right. You just got to have a key.
It's
Or
right
at
there,
least
the
ring
will
the
of the
doorbell
people.
and ask, can I come in?
Trump is all about immigration. He's
Okay.
just against illegal immigration. It's simple. It's not
Right.
complex. It's people make it so complex because they want to attack what he's doing. It's like, no, listen, I'm a Christian. I love people. I love immigrants. I feel terrible for the people that are struggling in the world. We all do. But you know what? We can't be responsible for all the problems and burdens in the world. It's impossible. We got to take care of our family first. Jesus said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. You ever heard that?
Oh, yeah.
And that means you need to know how to love yourself first. That means being responsible to take care of yourself, your family, being responsible, and then love your neighbor. America's taking this position to take care of the world's problems, and while ship is sinking. So Trump's the type of person to say, America first, fix our problems, when we got our stuff taken care of, we'll help as many people as we can. And that to me is righteous. There's nothing wrong with that.
What do you think about his choice for vice president?
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love Newt Gingrich. Brilliant, absolute
Too
genius.
much ego in one room.
I wouldn't say that. I want to pass judgment on him. He's a brilliant guy, but he's like he needs another job in the Mike Pence was a stabilizing choice. It brought stability. It shows Trump recognizing in himself what he doesn't have and what he needed, and that shows strength in a leader because Mike Pence is a wonderful man, family guy, straight up. He's an evangelical believer, great values. I think it's a brilliant choice.
Aside from the wall, what are the other reasons there?
Economics.
Economics.
We're $20 trillion in debt nearly. That's an unfathomable number. And why? Obama has tripled the debt in 8 years.
But the House approves the budget, right?
Oh, I know, but it's under his direction, and he gets what he wants. He's
See, the most obvious thing, there's a big pile of crap right in the middle of the road there.
To drive a nation into that.
Getting to the bottom of that.
Our nation will implode.
Staying well away from. Oh, look out, young man! You just backed right into it. Oh no! Yeah. The audio guy just stepped in crap, and again, so
economics,
he's definitely foot deep in shit.
Yeah. And giving, he'll inspire business. He'll bring back, by dropping the corporate tax rates, he'll bring back investment. Investment comes into the inner cities. I was in a black pastors meeting November 30th last year in Trump Tower, 2 hours with Donald Trump, 3 feet from the man. And they're like, well, how are you going to help us? How are you going to help us? And his response, how Trump thinks, I want to bring back all this money that's abroad, that companies are taking out of America, trying to find better places to invest in. Make it attractive to them to reinvest it in America. They're going to not invest it out in a field somewhere. They'll invest it in the inner cities. They'll create jobs as a result, and jobs will go to its citizens.
What about the brain drain? How do we encourage our the youth to go into science and tech jobs? It's been a problem for a long time. We're importing a lot of our...
Because we're giving our ideas to other countries. We're letting them steal our ideas.
Not so much that, in terms of like when we hire engineers, we have to hire them from other countries because there's not as many here. I mean, it's just not something that we...
Well, it's the incentive, and that's an issue. I have that up in Elmira. Brain drain's a major issue. So people leave because there's nothing there, the opportunity. And when people get excited about being American again, there'll be engineers that are rising up in this country. My son's going to become an engineer, so I'll make sure of it.
Right. And what's your name again?
Julian Raven, R-A-V-E-N.
And you're from New York? You're
That's
a delegate?
right, yep.
Would you mind if I had you sign a quick release?
Nope.
It just says I can use your likeness and all that.
Yep.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time.
Not at all.
I have to admit, when I first saw you, I go, this guy's really brave. But then again, nobody's giving you any grief. That's very nice. It's kind of refreshing.
The art does it.
Yeah.
Because if I was out here pointing fingers,
you're not, and nobody else is either.
Yeah, and it's fine, and people come and go, and And that's paint. See, the beauty of art is that art speaks for itself.
Well, the guy over there is like, as the son says, Trump is the Antichrist, and here you are talking about the thing. It's amazing, it really is.
It's fantastic.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
No matter which side you're on.
It was also very nice of Julian to submit to the interview, and a wonderful setting for it, as it did bring home the First Amendment rights of everyone there, and the square, all the different protesters. But it brings to mind, what does America stand for these days? And do we know? Or are we just a bunch of vocal factions yelling at each other? Or are we listening to each other? Seems like everybody's got the best idea, but they don't listen to the other ideas. Just an observation. Kind of like how Julian didn't really listen to me and didn't realize that I'm actually not British. And that this entire documentary is to make fun of the fact that we're all British expatriates. And that I'm actually a native-born American named Matt O'Connor, who went to Cleveland to point out how absolutely ridiculous it is that this country, which has stood for freedom for so many years, has become so narrow and so hostile to different groups of people, whether they're Muslim or Hispanic. And I think it's completely ironic. My people are not from this country. Your people are likely not from this country. Only the Native Americans are from this country. And for us to want to make America great again, maybe we should remember our roots and what made America great in the first place. I disagree. I think America is great. I think Americans, by and large, are fat, lazy, and stupid. And they like to yell at each other and not listen. That's just my opinion. And it's not very polite. But I don't think now is the time for being polite. I think now is the time for us to figure out who we are, where we came from, and how we get back to our core, and how we listen to each other, and how we join together, and realize America is great if we stick to what our core values are and were. And for the Republic, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, Indian, Pakistani, Ethiopian, Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, Hindu, atheist, pagan. We are all Americans, and we are all part of what makes America great. We are not a divisive people, but we have become divisive because we have failed to look in the mirror and realize that irrespective of our religion or our color, we are all Americans and can come together because America is great.